Vince Hungate, I want to thank you for being interviewed.
I want to thank you for turning on the camera.
Turn on the record button. Okay. How did you know that God was calling you into missionary service?
Well, at a very early age, we were always told in my home that the need was the call. And in America today, especially in our inner cities, there's tremendous need. And for us, it was very simple. There was a need. There wasn't a lot of people wanting to go meet that need. And so we noticed and was aware of a need, and that was our call. We went where there was a need.
How long was it when you first received your call until you actually went to the field?
It was 2 years. We spent 2 years building the vision. It took us a while because, first of all, for that 2 year period, up until the 3 months before we left, we really didn't even know what city in America we were going to be going to. We just knew it was somewhere in an urban inner city environment somewhere in the United States. And so it took us 2 years putting everything together. And basically it was the vision is what we put together. And then we launched 2 years after we really felt God really stirring in our hearts.
What advice would you give to somebody who's preparing themselves for missionary service?
I think one of the most important things you need to know is you need to know the difference between a calling and a burden. A burden will always get you somewhere, but a calling will keep you. And so what I would say to somebody who is wanting to, they feel God's calling them, whether it's here to the States as a missionary, a stateside missionary, or overseas missionary, is to visit where they feel God's calling them. To go, spend some time. And if they feel like they can't leave and they have to stay there, it's probably a calling. But if they can come back and then say, hey, I enjoyed the trip, but it wasn't for me, it probably was just a burden.
In hindsight, after you're on the field, what would you have done differently to prepare yourself for the mission field?
It would be probably business. A lot of people don't understand that ministry or church or whatever it may be is half doing the service and the benevolence and the actual ministry itself. The other half is business. If you don't take care of the business, then you have no ministry to do. And so when I left to start Essential to Life, I had a minister's heart. That was all I had. And so probably if I would go do it all over again, by far would not change my answer, is that I wish that I would have had more understanding of business and had more people surrounding me that knew business that could have helped us put together our infrastructure and our organization in the right way instead of having to really put it together over an 8 year period, being aware. So the business end.
Share an experience that's unique to the country that you minister in, or in your case, in the city that you minister in, Atlanta.
Yeah, probably the most unique thing that's about our city is the fact that we're in the hub of the civil rights movement. Martin Luther King. Matter of fact, 2 blocks away from one of our communities is actually the birthplace and home of Martin Luther King. And to see a city like Atlanta now become so African American affluent is very unique to me, because you can go to a lot of different places around the United States and you can see pockets of influence of minorities. But in Atlanta, there are more black millionaires, African American millionaires than any other city in the world is right in Atlanta. And to see the diversity in corporate America and to see African Americans hold very high positions and to see that mixed, to me, it makes it a very unique city.